So what age is old enough for your child to have a cell phone? How loud is too loud for your child's ears? And what about Facebook? If you've asked yourselves these questions and more, listen up. We have advice for parents in this digital age. Chief Technology Mom Monica Vila is here, and she's co-founder of Digital Life. And thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Yeah, I have young children who are not quite there yet. And you have a 9-year-old daughter?
Yes.
So you are there.
Yes, we are there.
So tell me about this idea that you came up. You have a website called The Online Mom. What is that?
The Online Mom is intended as a place for advice and guidance for parents, but not just about the risks, also about the opportunities that exist with technology.
This is not something we worried about when we were kids.
Never.
Not by a long shot, but now there are so many different things that we have to worry about in terms of technology. Now, I understand you're known as Dr. Spock for technology issues. How did that come about?
Well, it's basically just because, we used to have a choice with technology, and now we don't. Everybody has seen a child grab a cell phone and immediately figure out all the features within, perhaps 5 minutes, whereas it takes us reading manuals to figure them out. So we have to actually, as parents, jump in and embrace technology and guide our children through this playground. It's like having a swimming pool. You can put fences around it, but the best prepared child is going to be the one that can swim.
And it's very important to make parents aware of these issues, because we were talking in the break about how easy it is to just put random words and end up going to a site that's not appropriate for children.
Yes, and one of the top advices we give on theonlinemom.com is really download or activate parental controls. When you have the parental controls, Windows Vista, for example, comes with it, then you catch about 90% of the threats out there for inappropriate content.
Okay, so now just to address some of the questions that we asked in the beginning, how young is too young for a cell phone, do you think?
Well, a child that's going to spend any amount of time on his or her own should probably have a cell phone. If a child walks to school or is, again, unaccompanied, then that's a really good time for a phone. When you award a phone for, reward purposes as a privilege, perhaps, cell phones should be held up at least until the tween years.
The tween, yeah. So what are some of the best websites, do you think, for tweens, as we call them, and video games? Let's talk about video games.
Well, video games, actually, if you follow the ESRB ratings, parents really should be aware that the ratings are there for that precise reason, to know exactly what is age appropriate to your own child. Video games in moderation are a wonderful tool for kids to actually learn. There's plenty of studies that show that our kids actually learn to be better readers, and a Harvard Business Review survey actually that also says they prepare children for the next generation of employees. And so parents can choose wisely with the ratings in mind for their children to have age-appropriate games.
And that's really where we start getting into the tips, is about being involved and really kind of knowing what your children are looking at and seeing and playing.
Because technology changes so fast, and there are new devices and new things launched all the time, new initiatives, new sites, parents really need to develop like a muscle and train themselves regularly on the new trends and the things that their kids are going to want and the things their kids are going to need, quite frankly.
Now, we have a lot of tips here, but let's try to get through some of them. We talked about getting in the game, opening a dialogue.
Yes. Always have a computer in the living room. Never allow your child to really have a computer in his or her bedroom. There are a lot of risks associated with things like bullying and stalking. And you can protect your child better if you're in an involved environment in a public place in the house.
And then be informed and interested, so they know they can talk to you about these things.
Exactly. So, for example, pick up Guitar Hero. I mean, I don't know if you've ever played it, but it's a really fun game. It's easy to pick up. It's popular, but it also allows parenting opportunities. It allows for an opportunity to teach your child that you are involved and that you are actually a good source of information. You can be, the cool parent in the neighborhood that knows how to play this game and how to guide your children through the new generation of games.
And here are some internet rules. Especially this one is very important, not meeting anyone in person without permission, of course. We hear some horror stories about that.
Yes. Kids tend to think that because they know someone online, he or she is no longer a stranger. One of the first things parents of young children need to do is teach their children, when they go on these popular sites like Webkinz and Club Penguin, etc., not to accept requests for buddies from anyone they don't know. And so I discovered my daughter had perhaps 12 buddy lists of kids she did not know, or people. We don't know who they are.
Okay, so you really have to be on top of that. And again, there's so much information here. We're going to have all the information linked to our website, too. But what do you think is just really the most important thing for parents to keep in mind?
If you do nothing, activate parental controls or download parental control software, and you will catch about 90% of the risks out there. But also just be positive and enthusiastic about it and embrace it and learn about it. You'll find places.
It's the wave of the future.
Exactly.
All right. Thank you so much for being
Thank
here.
you,
Nice
Linda.
to meet you.
Thank you so much.
All right. And again, go to san diego6.com for more information.